Ticket.
Little hour number 3 on this Monday. What's going on? Welcome to what we hope is your favorite sports talk radio program, our Dollar Loan Center video audience. You'll find this on the KTIK YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to that, 4 or 5 of you, if you do it right now, JP is going to go home in a splendid mood, like our stupid YouTube channel. He loves it. Prater in the Ballgame, opening up the Double Tap Pub hotline. If you didn't have a chance to call into Bronco game night, I get it. We were up till like 2 or 3 in the morning Mountain Time. We wanted to afford you this opportunity to call 208-424-9300 and really take us anywhere you want to go with Boise State UNLV. Maddux Madsen gets the job done again. But was it okay for you? Was it a passing grade for you? Are you still having the same frustrations with the quarterback play at Boise State? 208-424-9300. The Jeanty Heisman race. Did he gain ground, lose ground? Who are you most scared, speaking of Halloween, will take the Heisman Trophy away from your beloved Ashton Jeanty? If it's not him, who do you think it's going to be? You'll also hear from Spencer Danielson and Dirk Koetter over the next 20 minutes or so. But Prater, we want to hear certainly from some folks in Bronco Nation calling 208-424-9300 and see kind of where this game went. It was a heavyweight fight. UNLV can flat out play. That team was tough. Took everything Boise State had to win, maybe. And they ended up getting a big win in a tough environment, but there's still stuff to talk about.
Yeah, Barry Odom did a nice job, with the defensive game plan, just beating up on Jeanty, getting after him, being very aggressive, hitting him in the backfield, gang tackling him, put as many people in the box as possibly they could, and forcing him to run through the middle, and with limited success. So, it was a good victory, a tough victory. I know Danielson and Koetter and Shenander were all kind of fired up today and pretty excited about the victory. Plenty of angst to talk about, though, and they've been on the practice field since yesterday and today, short week. It's 3 days away from the last game and only 4 days away from the next game. We're kind of caught in the middle there. So let's figure out if we want to talk about Friday night. Let's figure out if we want to talk about San Diego State this Friday night. Anything's on the table right now, Ballgame.
Absolutely. I don't know where you want to go Friday, but take us somewhere. Your expectations for Ashton Jeanty, what you would like him to see. He is 100 yards exactly behind the Barry Sanders pace after 7 games, 1988 and 2024. So is this an opportunity you'd like to see Ashton Jeanty? If he gets 31, 33 carries in this game, hopefully it's for a lot more yards than what he had. But Prater, the coaches were saying there were a couple of real near misses from Jeanty to have even more yards. But all in all, I will absolutely take what we saw on Friday night. Lunch pail, workload, workhorse back, bring it.
Yeah,
it
would have been nice if he would have broken one of those big ones. And there was the turf monster at one.
Yep.
You and I looked at each other at the game when that happened, like, oh, we've never seen that before.
No.
And then the fingernail tackles, there was 2 or 3 of those, and that's okay. Credit UNLV for making the plays and limiting Ashton Jeanty. Still, I believe he fell from first to fourth in the Heisman Trophy odds. And don't forget, they're not predicting who's going to win the Heisman Trophy. They're just trying to get your cash.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're trying to do here. They put out the lurking hunch guy who tries to take your cash. That's why they put that out there. But if he fell from first to fourth, it's still the same group, and it's still a tight-knit group, and it's going to change every weekend. Ashton Jeanty didn't help himself over the weekend. Ashton Jeanty didn't hurt himself over the weekend, and we've got 5 football games to play in this month alone.
Yeah, and I like what you said earlier today with BJ. I caught that when I was driving in, Prater. It's like no one is going to look back at Ashton Jeanty against UNLV in any way and be like, well, if it wasn't for that UNLV game, he needed more yardage there. No. It's not going to hurt him at all, but some other players are playing well too this year, Prater, and they're on good teams too, Prater. And this is going to be, to be honest, this is going to be a good Heisman race, I think.
I am not beating up Dylan Gabriel. I love the way he plays.
Yeah.
I am not beating up Travis Hunter. You and I both love the way he plays. Nobody's beating up Cam Ward. I love the way he plays. And, you guys as fans can beat him up all you want. I think it's a really cool collection of 4. And I think Ashton Jeanty, his biggest competition in the month of November is himself. And if he doesn't finish the way he started, then he's going to be dinged a little bit. Ashton Jeanty created such magical expectations, and it's been so fun to watch that I think he's got to come close to finishing the same way that he started in order to keep this Heisman momentum going. I really, truly do. I'm not saying he couldn't. Ashton Jeanty, we've seen it. He got a little banged up. His legs seem to be fine. His left arm, I have no idea what's going on with his left arm.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an elbow, a bicep, a wrist, a hand, a finger, a nerve, a muscle, a bone. I have no idea, but something's going on in that left arm. But his legs look great, and his moxie certainly looks great. But Ashton Jeanty's biggest competition over these last 5 weeks of the season is doing the same things that he did in the first 5 weeks of the season.
What do you guys need to see from Ashton? 5 regular season games left. What does he need to do in these 5 to come as close to the Heisman as he can, to get the Heisman? Call 208-424-9300 JP. Let's start with Tony. Appreciate all our callers holding. Tony, this is kind of a freestyle. Anywhere you want to go with your football team right now, Tony, welcome. Go there.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I agree, Ashton. I mean, there were some close, man. He usually breaks those, and they just got him barely. I mean, there were a few that I was like, dang it, man, he was going to go. And, I mean, it was some tough. They tackled hard, and they hit him hard, and you know, that was their game plan. I think as far as Maddux, he was a stud. I mean, he's proven – you know, every game that he is a winner and that he does the right, you know, makes the right calls. His runs were great. I think the receivers let him down a few times. I mean, that Bates, he would have gone forever. I mean, he may not have gotten the first down, but he had blockers out in front of him, and he drops the ball. I mean, we had a few drops, you know, and then on a couple of the screens, he kind of threw it too hard. But, you know, I think the receivers needed – they did okay, but I think they needed to step up a little bit more. I think they kind of let us down a titch. So
great call, Tony.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And the wide receiver room, the players that are being used, the depth. I mean, the wide receiver room was so deep at the beginning of the season, and depth has not really worked out really well for them. Same with the running back room. Depth isn't working out right there. We started off the show, I wanted to see more Dylan Riley, but maybe pass protection is an issue for him. Maybe that's why Tyler Crow's in there. We still haven't seen Chris Marshall, and I think this might be a lost season. And I'm not worried, but I'm curious if he'll ever even step on the field and play for Boise State. I would think so, but
he's a junior. Yeah, I mean, is Chris Marshall going to try to come back? Who knows? This is the 4th school he's been at.
Yeah, but it's not working out well for him here either. And those guys get antsy. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, Madsen had some issues. The running backs had some issues. The offensive line definitely had some issues. The wide receivers had some issues. There was probably more mistakes in this game than Boise State, self-inflicting mistakes in this game than Boise State's had in a long time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too, Prater. They won the game. It was close. Good for them. I mean, Latrell Caples has 13 catches in 6 games, right? I mean, like a couple of things, like he's on pace for 25 catches and 0 touchdowns this year. Latrell Caples, who, by the way, has another year. I know Trell sat in this studio and told us flat out his plans. He wants to be playing in the pros next year. I don't know. Seems like right now Trell might be using that COVID year and possibly coming back. Or I'm sorry, not the COVID year, the medical redshirt year.
You know, Louder had 8 targets against UNLV.
Okay.
And they're all deserved and they're all earned. You know how many targets Latrell Caples has had in the last 5 games?
How many, Prater?
1, 2, 3. In the last 5 games, 7.
He's disappearing at
7. He's averaging 1.2 targets a game. Targets.
Here's a guy who caught 50+ balls from Dirk 2 years ago, and we thought that was an easy peasy. I don't know if it's still the injury. He hasn't come back. He's still not healthy. But Latrell Caples is not helping this team in the passing game. We certainly thought it would. Jeremy, you're on the Double Tap Pub hotline. Jeremy, welcome to Idaho Sports Talk. Where are you taking us, dude?
Hey, boys. I've been doing this since the middle finger days. Prater, you know what it is. So here's the first thing. It's Ashton Jeanty. Hey, that's it. That's the handle. That's the last piece to this. Hey, just a nickname, a catchy nickname, original. Anyway, whatever. So he had, if that's your worst game, are you serious? That's your worst game of the season? Is 129 and a tough. Okay, you're in against a frontline team in your conference. Hey, yeah, that's all right on the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now the other thing is this. Okay, so this group of 5. Okay, so we've had Hall of Fame running backs come through the group of 5. Marshall Faulk, whatever, since that time, and they didn't smash it out. So what gives? You know what I mean? So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Great call. I guess it's interesting stuff, but appreciate every call. Jeremy, good stuff, man. Brian, you're next up. Brian, where are we going on this, dude?
Well, like you guys said earlier about Ashton being kind of just wanting to get to that hole and being kind of just wanting to get there. I think in that second half, he waited and was more patient and waited for that hole to develop, and he got his access through it in the second half, which was nice to see in that third quarter. Then start pushing against it. But again, to see Prince catch a couple of targets was nice, and to make some yardage after the catch was I thought a good positive for that part of the receiving corps.
That's good stuff too. I mean, Mad Dog knows this. Everybody knows this, but they got to complete that pass to Prince in the corner of the end zone. Prater, just a flat out miss. That stuff happens. What I will tell you about your quarterback, Boise State, and we're going to talk about the relationship Maddux Madsen has with Dirk Koetter here coming up, but he's leading the conference in quarterback rating. He's leading the conference in average yards per attempt. Maddux Madsen, he's leading the conference in times sacked with least amount. I know it's a little bumpy at times, Prater. It flat out is.
Yep.
It's a bumpy ride with this quarterback sometimes.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, it's kind of like I want to be all over him. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, why am I going to be all over this quarterback when, again, at the end of the day, they win? He's efficient as hell. He doesn't turn the ball over. He does the one things you can't have him do. He does those well. It's other stuff. The dodging all these interceptions and dodging catastrophic mistakes that he seems to get away with. I don't know. Maybe there's an art form to it. Keep your calls coming. Maddux Madsen, Dirk Koetter, this quarterback. Is it too bumpy for you? Share your thoughts. Call 208-424-9300. You'll hear from Spencer Danielson and Dirk Koetter when we come back on Prater on the Ball Game.
This is Ticket Traffic.
Report is brought to you by St. Alphonsus